North Carolina vinyl picker, and I'm up here in Nebo. What am I doing up here in Nebo? I'm up here on a Wednesday, and it's a beautiful sunny day. And I'm up here, I'm going to look through some records, and I'm going to take you in with me. So when I go in there, I'm going to do a flip video for y'all and bring some records to the table this coming Sunday. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, we're inside. We're going to go around the room here. Then I'll pick a bin that we haven't been through. Looks like they got some good records today. I'd say this place is a few miles from my house, not too far. And they got books and postcards, magazines, and records, 45s. Lots of jazz. They got a thing of jazz right here. Let's look through some jazz. How about that? You got a lot of people out there. Love the jazz. Count Basie, Brubeck, Jack Bruce. We'll get rid of a few of these. There's old Coltrane, $18. We'll take these out. Okay, here we go. We got some miles. Looks like someone dropped off some jazz here. Billie Holiday, Sonny Rollins. Here are people talking about him. $22. Looks like the prices are pretty good. I don't know a lot about jazz, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that'll let me know. I seen somebody showing this record this morning. $15. He picked it up for $1, I think, or maybe it was $5. Okay, that looks like all the jazz. I'll put these back and I'm gonna go find some for myself. Good Sunday afternoon. It's time for the North Carolina Vinyl Picker Show. The show of shows. Yes, I was out walking again this morning. I'm starting to get a little bit of sun. Yeah, weather here in North Carolina is changing. It's starting to get up into the 70s. It was almost 70 degrees today. So today we're going to go ahead and go into 1994. And I'm going to show you my top 10 CDs, because it was the CD era in 1994. And then I'm going to go at the end of the show, and I'm going to show you, I went to 2 antique malls this week. Yes, went to 2 antique malls, and I got a couple things. I got a few things in the mail, and I'm going to show you those at the end too, and a few 45s even, and a couple of CDRs. What do you think of that? But first I want to start off by something. By showing all these CDs I've been showing lately, and I just sent the old goat a whole box of Bag-O CDs, he calls it. That's what I call it. That's what he calls it. He used to do a thing where he was Bag-O tapes, so I just switched it around and made it Bag-O CDs, and he loved it, and he got a bunch of CDs, and he's a happy camper. So this summer, he can go out in his vehicle, and he can drive around and play his new CDs. That was the whole thing, because that's what he was asking about. And maybe this summer that's what he would do. So you listen, and you remember things, and then you act on them later on. So by going through all these CDs, and I've been going through the CDs since I started into the late 80s, because I'm doing this series, every week by going and advancing a year every year. And I started back months ago, starting with 1972, and we're already up to 1994, and we're going to go till present day. So I'm just going to keep on going. I had a lot of response on my 4-part series on the different record labels. That was really nice. I got over 200 views, which is good for me. And I appreciate all my new subscribers and a lot of and-ums. Too many and-ums. Okay, so all these CDs over here, I started putting all my CDs out because I've been selling my CDs. And if you're interested in buying CDs, I have them in my store. And there'll be a link down below to the store. So I realized that there's a lot of CDs that I don't have vinyl for. So when the vinyl revolution started about 4 years ago now, I have a whole room full of vinyl now, and I have very few CDs. So see how it's all gone back again, back to the CDs. So I've been selling these CDs, but I'm trying to keep a few of them because I don't have the vinyl for them. But I found a solution to that. So I was listening to some VC channels, some channels on the on YouTube. And this guy here was talking about Bluetooth audio receiver. So I ordered one of these guys. I ordered it from Amazon. It was like $20. It's going to be hooked up today to my Marantz. And then I can play off my cell phone, to the Bluetooth and play the music through my speakers and stream. So what do you think of that? 87% of people who listen to music stream. That's true. 12% use physical media, and then 1% is unknown. 87%. That's a lot of people. Anybody that goes and listens to music daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, they stream nowadays. People aren't buying physical media. Now, you listen and watch the vinyl community, you would think everybody is buying vinyl. But we're just a small little percentage of people that are on YouTube. So, so I'm going to give this thing a try out. I'm going to try Eskinton Bluetooth audio receiver. And I'll get back to you next week and tell you how it sounds. But I want to go ahead and play some music through those. And then I won't need any of these CDs, right? Because streaming sounds better than CDs. Is that true? Put your comments down below. If you stream in your car or you stream at home, do they sound better than your old CDs? Yeah, there's a way to make your old CDs sound better too. You can get a DAC. Now, there's lots of videos online for that. You can get a DAC, hook that up to your old, I was going to say VHS, but your old Blu-ray player or your CD player, and you can hook that up to that, and then it'll give it additional sound because it's updated. Because the one that's in your CD player that might be 30 years old has old components. So what they do is you buy this DAC, you set it on top, you hook it all up, and then it goes through that, which has all the upgraded, and makes your CD sound better. So that's also something you can do if you're interested. And those start off at like $30 and on up. And also, they have a DAC and a Blu-ray combo, which you can get. So you can listen to your CDs sounding better. You can also listen to your phone through your speakers with this all in one. And therefore, you wouldn't have to go out and buy $40 or $50 or $60 record albums of your favorite new artist. Like the Rolling Stones or anybody that comes out with a new record. You don't want to pay $40, $50. You could stream it through your speakers by a one-time purchase. So just food for thought. I just wanted to start my show with that and talk about this. And then, like I said, I've been doing the old goat for 6 minutes. So let's go ahead and get right into 1994. So in 1994, where was I? I was stationed down in Orlando, Florida. That's right. I was in Orlando from 94 to 97. And then the North Carolina vinyl picker, a.k.a. Big Chief, retired from the United States Navy in 1997. Yes, I was living down near Orlando. and loving life. Had a great life going on down there. And then, then I met my wife and everything got better. Had a bunch of kids and then started raising children. Yeah. So in 94, we're going to show you what my top 10 records were. Here we go. They're not records, but they're CDs, but some people call them records. They're actually CDs. Okay, so number 10. This is an artist. He's a jazz artist. And I was listening to a lot of jazz in the 90s. I would switch back and forth from jazz, fusion jazz, some kind of light jazz sometimes, to prog. And then I'd switch back. I'd be like a year in, 2 years out, a year back. I just kept going back and forth. So Christian Valenzuela. Now this artist was from Florida. I'm still from Florida. As far as I know, he's still alive. And he's an outstanding artist. Now, actually, I have 2 copies of this. And I could put one in my store. I was going to say ship store, but in my store. Yeah, this guy here is, you probably can stream this CD. So if you like fusion jazz or light jazz, you can listen to Christian Valenzuela. And this is one I found from the Florida Hospital in Appreciation. And it has a bunch of his songs on here. And it's Christian Valenzuela. And this one here is an album selection of favorite songs from Christian, previously released on Acoustic Rain, which was this one here. The Other Side of the Mirror, 1997, and Higher Revolution, 1999, picked and recorded especially for the Florida Hospital. Because I think he was involved with the Florida Hospital doing some charity work. So there you go. Christian Valenzuela coming in at number 10. Coming in at number 9. Well, this guy here, I seen with my wife. And this album came out in 93. And I did not show it on last week's show. But it's Craig Chaquico. Craig Chaquico made a string of New Age records. And Craig Chaquico was also the guitar player in Jefferson Starship. But if you like New Age music with a little bit heavier, then you probably would love Craig Chaquico's album. This one here was Acoustic Highway. And the one he followed up with, which I have 2 copies of, is Acoustic... Ooh, almost dropped a drink. Acoustic Planet. And these both albums are just fabulous. You can stream them, check them out. But if you were interested in listening to what Craig Chaquico was doing after he left Jefferson Starship, and these have no vocals on them. These are all just straight music, and some great music, to say the least. And yeah, they're very good. Coming in at number 9 this week, Craig Chaquico. And I know people are going to say, hey, when are you going to show me something I already know? Oh, we're going to get there. Hang on. That was number 9. Coming in at number 8. Now, you all are going to know this guy, Justin Hayward. Justin Hayward was one of the members of the Moody Blues. In 1994, he was still a member of the Moody Blues, and they were making records. But this album here is called Classic Blue, and he made it with Mike Batt. And he reimagines a lot of old Moody Blues songs and other stuff. Tracks on My Tears, MacArthur Park, Blackbird, Vincent, Whiter Shade of Pale. So he does Forever Autumn. He does a few Stairway to Heaven. He does some covers, and he does some Moody Blues songs. Some Justin Hayward songs. Yeah. But this one here is excellent. And that album comes in at number 8. I believe I got that right. Coming in at number 7 is Yanni. Yanni was a New Age artist, and he was real big in the 80s and even into the 90s, and probably some in the late 70s. And live at the Acropolis. And this is also on video. You used to have it on videotape. I think I still got it on videotape, and that's probably in my store. But it's also on DVD. It might even be out on Blu-ray 4K. But this is an awesome concert, and this is when he was dating Linda Evans from Dynasty. Yeah, this is just awesome. And if you don't know Yanni, give him a shot. You might think, his music's lame, but he's a New Age artist. he's an incredible piano player or keyboardist. And his first couple albums are kind of fusiony, but this one here is more mainstream and just beautiful music. And Yanni's coming in at number 7. Coming in at number, I don't know where I'm at. Coming in, must have been number 6. Did I do the Steve? Oh, I think I did the Steve. October Project. Where are we at? Coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 5 is October Project. Now, October Project was a band. This came out in 93. And I missed this one last week. But that's okay. Because I made up for it because this came out in 94. And that's what we're talking about now. October Project is a band. This one here is 4 live acoustic songs. And they do Be My Hero, Bury My Lovely. Just a fantastic band that didn't get their just dues. They only made the 2 albums. And then after that, their record label scrapped them. But they were an awesome band. And yeah, just if you were into the 90s music at all, you may have heard of October Project. But these guys were really good. So, yeah, coming in at number 5, October Project. Coming in at number 4, Peter Gabriel, live, Secret World, live. Now, there's a video to this as well. And this is fantastic. I would have loved to have seen this tour, but I didn't. That was one I missed. And this would have been in 94. And no reason why I didn't go. I should have gone. I was around, that was for sure, and a big-time Peter Gabriel fan. So I don't know why me and my nephew didn't go to this show, but that's one we missed and we should have gotten to. So Peter Gabriel 4, Come Talk to Me, Steam, Red Rain, Blood of Eden, The Washing of the Water, Salisbury Hill, all his hits. Look how young he was. Yeah, right? Coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is an album by a band I'd been listening to for quite a while at this point, and it was Marillion. And this is after Fish had left, and this was with Hogarth, Steve Hogarth. And this album is called Brave, and this is their Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. This is a concept album, and this is Brave, and this is the Steven Wilson remix. Just incredible album. That's Brave. Coming in at number 2, and of course it's Tori Amos, and this is Under the Pink. I just sent the old goat a copy of this. I hope he likes it. It's her second album, and I want to know what the old goat's album. I forgot to ask him which one he already had. Was it Little Earthquakes? Write in the comment section down below, Don, if you can. And then maybe now that you got this one, I can send you her third album. I have multiple copies of all these, so I got her third album. Maybe you'll get that one next. So let me know what's the other album you got. But the one he opened today was this one, and this is her second album, Under the Pink. Just a great album. Coming in at number 1, this is the concert me and my nephew went to see. And we went over to Tampa, and it was Pink Floyd, The Division Bell. And the only time I got to see David Gilmour and Pink Floyd. And we were over there, and we had good seats. It was in the old Sombrero. It was in the old Tampa Bay Stadium where they play football. And we were all the way up in the back by the rear speakers. And David Gilmour was probably about this big. And they did the complete set, and then they came back, and they did the whole Dark Side of the Moon in its entirety. It was incredible. And when they did the song Money and a Change Was Falling, it was right behind our heads. And the reefer smoke was coming out of the stadium, buddy. It was rolling, let me tell you. It was quite the show. It's something I still remember. It's probably a top 5 concerts I've ever seen. I need to do a show. I think I'll do a show. My top 10 favorite concerts of all time. And I bet you this one here would be in my top 10. That's for sure. Okay, so we got that. So what was your top 10 records of 1994? Write in your comments section down below. Wow, we're already at 16 and a half minutes. I've really been running my gator today. So here's the things that I picked up this week. I'm going to try to go through these pretty quick and maybe keep it under 20 minutes. I got these CDRs from my friend John, and these are Before the Dawn. This is the live Kate Bush show that she came back 10 years ago and did. There was no film with this, wasn't filmed, or maybe it was filmed but never shown. And so he made some tapes for me, some CDs for me, so I can give them a listen. But I should be able to hear it now on this. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do a comparison. I got me some Harvest sleeves this week. So I took my Pink Floyd 45 of Money, and any color will do. And I got a sleeve for it now. So actually I got 3 of the sleeves for $10. So that's pretty good price because the Harvest 45 sleeves are hard to come by. Well, you can buy them, but a lot of times when you find the 45s in the wild, the sleeves aren't with them. And a lot of times the sleeves are worth more than the records are worth. I found this one here when I was up at the antique mall up in Nebo, North Carolina, last week. On Monday or Tuesday I was up there. I found Jackson Browne, For America. This is a great song, and I love Jackson Browne. So I had to pick this up. It was $2. So I put that to my Jackson Browne collection, which I think this might be the only one I got. So for now. And then this one here. This was the 45 of the week. And this one here came from a guy in Connecticut I ordered. And it's Nectar. But it's from an album that I never heard of. And by the time I got with John and talked to him about it and listened to the album while I was out walking one day, the album is called Man in the Moon. The album pretty much blows. It's not a very good album. But here's the 45 for that album. And the 45 is Too Young to Die, Can't Stop You Now. And it's a cool 45, and it's Nectar. So there you go. And it's on the Areola 45 label, which the band Sky is on there too, on that record label. But it's a cool 45, and but the album blows. So it does have Roy Albrighton on it. Yeah, there you go. But I'll go ahead and put it with I didn't pay much for it, so it wasn't too much there. Okay, so first thing I want to show you is the stuff I got in the mail. So I got this in the mail almost a week ago now. It's Kayak's first album. It's on Harvest, which drew me to it because I just did that whole thing on Harvest Records. And this is CC the Sun. CC the Sun. It's their first record. And Kayak was a progressive rock band from Holland. And they made about, 7 or 8 albums. And they're real good. And Tom Scherpenzeel is the keyboardist for Kayak. And he also played on Camel, one of Camel's albums. Yep. Or maybe 2 albums. I think it's just the 1 album. Yep, Kayak. If you like Kayak, if you don't know Kayak, you should listen to them. If you like prog. It's kind of like Fire Ballet or Star Castle, any of those B groups, my friend John even told me one time that Supertramp was a B group. So there's a lower tier, there's a higher tier prog, and then a lower tier prog. And then a third tier would probably just like Rush, who's not prog at all, they're just rock. So they would probably be a third tier. What do you think of that? What do you think of that, Rush people out there? Yeah, leave a comments down below. Peter Gabriel, I don't remember. I don't control. I have no memory of anything at all. This is a 33 1/3, 45 of I don't remember. Large. It's not a 45, it's a big boy. Yes, and this was $5. I got it for $5. And I'm all in on any of the Genesis guys when it comes to these 12-inch records from the 80s. And if I see them, I pick them up. And sometimes the postage costs more than the actual vinyl. So then I went to Lake James. That's where I got that Jackson Browne 45. And I seen a few things there. Sly and the Family Stones Greatest Hits. This was $6. This sounds incredible. Really good. It's got all the hits. Want to Take You Higher, Stand, Everybody is a Star. All their hits. All their hits are on here. You only need one. Do you only really need one Sly album? There you go. Sly and the Family Stone. A little bit out of my wheelhouse? Well, maybe. I don't know. I like a lot of some funk and there you go. How about this one here? Yes, it's Anna Bandana. I've been going back with Police. I always listen to Synchronicity. Then I went back to Ghost in the Machine. And I said, well, what was before that? This album was before that. And I never listened to the first 3 Police albums. I only listened to the last 2. So I've been going back and listening to some. This has got 2 instrumental tracks on here. Yeah. So this is a good album. It's good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I haven't listened to this yet. This is Bowie. And this is the 3rd in the trilogy of the Berlin trilogy, Lodger. And I'm yet to heard this album, but I'm going to give it a listen here soon, if I can get this thing right. There it is. That's the way it's supposed to be. So the 3rd in the list of the Berlin trilogy. Okay, then later in the week, matter of fact, it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. We went to Fantastic Finds. Fantastic Finds is over in Newton. And usually I only get to go to Newton when my wife wants to go to her jeweler and sees how her birthday was today. Happy birthday, dear. I told her I'd take her over to Newton to get her something for her birthday, but I digress. She didn't want to go. And then once we went by there, she goes, oh, I should have brought the jewelry. She got something to fix. But we didn't stop. Because you know why? Because the jewelry was at home. That's right. It wasn't, she didn't have it in her purse. So I told her next week I'd take her back if she wants to go back and get her something for her birthday. What do you think? Write your comments down below. It is what it is. It is damn if you do and damn if you don't. The time to act on something is when you see it. Right. That's what the pickers used to say. When you see it, it's time to act. Don't have regrets later on. Say, oh, I should have bought that. And you didn't get it. And when you go back, it's not there. It's never there. That goes for a record album. You go into a record store and you find, the ultimate price. You've been looking for this record for 20 years. You go in there and you find it. It's $50 more than you want to pay for it. The guy doesn't want to come down off the price. I'll pass. Come back 2 weeks later, a month later. Oh, the record's gone. What happened? Oh, I sold it. Oh, well, there you go. Now it's going to take you another 5 years to find it again. Or you can go on Discogs or eBay and spin the wheel. Take a chance it doesn't come in all screwed up like Dave's. Or, anything else. This might get all the way to your doorstep and then someone steps on it. You never know. So, at Fantastic Finds, the first thing I did was I went to this one guy where I know he always has records. Now, these records have been there. I've been going back for 5 years, and it's the same records that have been there for 5 years. But your mind changes and your taste changes. So what was there 5 years ago or 3 years ago, when you go back this time, it might be something you're willing to give it a shot. And for $5, Manfred Mann's Earth Band, yes. This is Angel Station. This is a good album. This is the art rock album, light prog, probably second tier. And we're going to be talking second tier and third tier bands. I don't know if Manfred Mann's Earth Band, they might be third tier. They might be just, they're balancing on rock. So they're not a second tier band. So, Manfred Mann, Angel Station. This next one, I already had one of his albums. And this is a Harvest reissue. It's not on the Harvest label. It's on the Capitol label. Kind of like the Gentle Giant, though, later albums. This is Bill Nelson, Bebop Deluxe. And this is kind of like art rock and prog, prog-ish, not even as proggy as I would say Triumvirate or Fire Ballet or the one I showed you earlier. It's not even that proggy. But this would be a third tier band. This is kind of balancing more like, almost down where Thomas Dolby would be, or one of those third-tier bands. I'm gonna drive this into the ground now. Okay, so Bebop Deluxe. If you like, who am I thinking? Oh, 10cc. If you like 10cc, you might like Bebop Deluxe. Very similar. I would think 27 minutes. Oh my gosh! I know a lot of people have left, and if you're still with me, God bless you. 27 minutes. Okay, so Bebop Deluxe. In the old days, I wouldn't even be able to download this. It would take 3 days. Yeah. Okay, so Bebop Deluxe. It's a good album. It's a good album. Now this is the find of the week right here. I was at Fantastic Finds, and I'm walking around. I go all the way in the back. I come back around, same old guy back there, trying to sell Cheetos and ho-hos and drinks and stuff. He's been there for 40 years, He's got to be in his 80s. God bless him. He's back there asking if I want any books. He's got books to sell. I said, no, I was looking for records. He said, well, I think there's one over here around the corner. So I said, yeah, I know. So I went around the corner, and there's always a guy there or a gal that has 2 boxes of records. But I didn't see him this time. And usually I've picked through them, the same old things, Jim Neighbors, Mantovani, all these different stuff, Connie Francis. It's the same old crap that's in these boxes. It's been in there for 5 years and probably was in there 10 years before I got there. So I said to myself, am I going to go ahead and go through those boxes? And I walked past there and I didn't see him. So I looked, it was a sewing machine. I looked underneath the sewing machine, and someone had stuck the boxes underneath the sewing machine. And I saw the big thick box, and I just knew that was Longines Symphony, Beethoven's Fifth something. And I said, that's what's going to be in there. It's going to be Jim Neighbors, it's going to be any one of those, Mel Torme, any one of those, crooners or somebody. And so I got down, and I pulled the first box out, and I'm going through it. Same old crap. I said, well, there ain't nothing here. So I pushed that one back in on the carpet, and I pulled out the second box. That one had more big boxes of stuff, Lawrence Welk and just all this crap. And in the very back, the last record in the milk crate was this one. What the hell is this album doing there? In a box with Lawrence Welk and a bunch of other stuff. This is in My Life in the Bush of Ghosts, Brian Eno and David Byrne. This album is actually on my list of things to buy. And he had $10 on it. And this album looks like it had never been played. That's because everybody was listening to Jim Neighbors and Connie Francis. They did, and people going through that box just passed this one right by because they had no clue who the heck this is. Not in Newton, North Carolina. Ain't nobody listening to these two guys, probably for 150 miles from there. No one's listening to this band. So, so that couldn't get into my armpit fast enough. And that was the find of the week. 30 minutes. Oh my gosh. Are you tired of hearing me ramble on now? Okay, so that's all I got for you this week. And if you stuck around that long, hit the bell and sub me up because you are suffered long enough. You might want to come back and see me on Wednesday and see my show Wednesday because I'm going to have another show. It's going to be a real special show. And I might just do what I mentioned earlier, which now I've forgotten what it was, but I'm sure I'll go back and rewatch my show and it'll jog my memory. But we're all done with the record label, so it won't be one of those. So take care out there. We'll be seeing you soon. And the North Carolina Vinyl Picker, I got to go find some dinner sometime tonight. And we'll be seeing you on Wednesday with my middle week show. Be good out there. Support them troops. I'll be seeing you soon. North Carolina Vinyl Picker, I'm out of here. I got to go.